Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on already established protocol. Like the MC said, my name is Mohammed Bulama, Director General of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, representing the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, who is unavoidably absent. As you will all imagine, these are very, very busy days for him. So he will have wished to be here personally, but I'm sure you will understand why he's probably not here. And my duty here this morning is to, on behalf of the Honorable Minister and the Ministry of Information, first of all, congratulate Mrs. Abiodun Esed and the Office of the SSA to the President on community engagement, North Central, for all the very great things she's been doing, as has been highlighted by the General a moment ago, and for launching this Citizens Assembly this morning. And after having done that, I would like to crave your indulgence to quickly highlight some of the major milestones that the present administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has achieved by way of policies that touch the very essence of the Nigerian citizens. And I'm doing so on behalf of the Minister. Of course, he has asked me to come here to give a highlight of these very important milestones. There are several of them. One of them, of course, is the national minimum wage. As we are all aware, the National Assembly has already passed the 70,000 Naira minimum wage bill, approved and transmitted to the President, and I'm sure that he will very shortly sign this into law. The minimum wage will be reviewed every 3 years, contrary to what obtained in the past, which was 5 years. And that will reflect and reconcile fresh economic realities and living standards with workers' remunerations. This will succeed the current 35,000 Naira wage award that is being paid to all federal workers. As you will recall, for the last 7-8 months or thereabouts, the federal government has been paying an additional 35,000 Naira to every federal civil servant in Nigeria. This has been a temporary measure. Now that a new minimum wage law has been passed into law, that will now, of course, cease to be. Then, of course, another important milestone is the local government autonomy, which has just been granted through the instrument of the Supreme Court judgment earlier this month. As you know, before now, the practice was for the state governments through the joint account to appropriate and exappropriate the funds that are meant for local government. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu moved to implement the local government autonomy by approaching the Supreme Court for a decisive verdict, which is a testament to his administration's commitment to reconciling to restructuring the nation, strengthening governance and development of the grassroots, and entrenching effectiveness and accountability in local government administration. With this game-changing initiative, institutional empowerment has come to local government areas in Nigeria. They will now witness unprecedented socio-economic transformation. The federal government will ensure that the Supreme Court judgment is enforced as intended. Another area where landmark achievements have been recorded is the agricultural sector. In this sector, 42,000 meters of tons of associated grains approved by the President Tinubu administration for distribution to poor and most vulnerable Nigerians was done in February 2024. This has been delivered to targeted populations in all the states and the Federal Capital Territory. In addressing rising food prices, in a six-month short-term plan, President Tinubu in July approved the suspension of tariffs, duties, and taxes on the importation of maize, rice, wheat, and cowpeas, authorized the importation of 500,000 metric tons of wheat and maize, ordered that all existing mechanization supports and incentives to farmers be sustained, and directed the immediate engagement of youth and women in greenhouse farming. Additionally, President Tinubu earlier this month released 20 trucks of rice to each of the 36 states and the FCT for distribution to most needy Nigerians. These are very important steps that have been taken. Hopefully in the next couple of months, Nigerians will begin to see the effect of all that, because this will definitely bring about a significant crash in the prices of food items in the country. By the time, because all these policies we are talking about, they were initiated only this month of July. So we expect about 3 months or thereabouts for us to see them yielding the desired results. And God willing, we'll begin to see that. And as you are aware, 20 trucks of rice to each state of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory was released by the President. And the state governors were given the responsibility to distribute this. So it is the duty of Nigerians to ensure that they hold their governors responsible to ensure that these foods are distributed and they reach the people that were intended for. Now, this is important to stress because the governors are, after all, elected representatives of the people. So there are no better, I don't think that there is a better channel of getting this food distributed than the governors themselves, because the governors were also elected like the president. So if the president gives this responsibility to the governors are supposed to carry them out to the latter. So if any state governor fails to do that, I think it's the duty of citizens to engage these governors and make sure that that is carried out to the latter. We also have significant milestones in the area of social security intervention to the state government. The president has recently reimbursed 35 states and the FCT a total of 36 states and the FCT, a total of 438 billion naira for the expansion of livelihood support in the form of grants, food palliative, and other social protection programs under the Nigeria Community Action for Reliance and Economic Stimulus, NG CARES. The federal government had in December 2023 also disbursed 135.4 billion to states and the FCT under the same program. In total, in the last 8 months, over 573 billion naira has been distributed by the federal government to Nigerian citizens through their state governments. Remember, these are not grants. These are not loans. These are grants meant to be distributed to Nigerian people. That's over 500 billion naira. The federal government has done that. And again, like I said before, we need to hold our state government responsible if these grants have not reached their desired targets. Then there's the post-subsidy removal presidential grants and loan schemes. Disbursement of the 50,000 naira grant under the 50 billion naira grant component of the presidential conditional grant and loan scheme is still ongoing. That is 50,000 naira to Nigerians, and 50 billion naira was set aside for that purpose. Is still on. So far, over 600,000 Nigerians have received 50,000 naira grants across the 774 local government areas. Also, disbursement of the 100 billion MSME and manufacturing loans will commence after the completion of the ongoing final stage of verification by August. Then there is the youth-focused initiatives, such as the student loan scheme. I'm not going to say much about that again because we all know the scheme has already been rolled out, and Nigerian youths who are students have started drawing from that fund. There's also the Nigeria Youth Investment Fund. The Federal Executive Council in March 2024 approved the take-off of the restructured Nigeria Youth Investment Fund with an initial seed-up capital of 110 billion. The objective of the NYIF is to improve access to finance for youths and youth-owned enterprises for national development, generate much-needed employment opportunities, and to curb youth restiveness, encourage out-of-school marginalized, unemployed, and underemployed youth to venture into sustainable, viable, income-generating projects and ventures. I would like to call on Nigerian youth to take advantage of all these programs. 110 billion is not, Nigeria is a country with a very huge youth population, we know that. But 110 billion naira is not small money. If Nigerian youth can tap into that. Fortunately, the youth leader of our great party, he is here, and I'm sure that he is going to create the platform for Nigerian youth to benefit. I know he's doing a lot already, but I'm sure he'll even do more to draw and sensitize youth to the importance of tapping from this kind of for programs. Then the 3 million technical talents, it's called the 3MTT. Leveraging technology for job creation, youth employment, and economic growth, the federal government has trained over 300,000 youths under the first phase of the 3 million technical talent program of this administration. So Nigerian youth should also please take advantage of that. The Skill Up Artisans Initiative called SUPA, S-U-P-A. This is another initiative through the Industrial Training Fund, which has commenced and which is embarking on the retraining of 100,000 youths under the Skill Up Artisan Initiative program. So these programs are all designed to help youth entrepreneurship in Nigeria, and I want to urge Nigerian youth to please take full advantage of this program. Another important initiative is the CNG initiative. One of the things the president has done is to introduce the compressed natural gas initiative, and this will bring down transportation costs for Nigerians by as much as 50%, while also unlocking the nation's huge potential in the gas sector. CNG conversion centers are growing exponentially across the country, creating more job opportunities for Nigerians. Since the launch of the initiative last year, we have seen over 50 million American dollars in private sector investment in setting up CNG conversion and fueling facilities nationwide. The federal government has also made available 30,000 kits for the conversion of 30,000 petrol-powered commercial vehicles to CNG-powered engines at no cost within the next 90 days. Also, the first batch of CNG mass transit buses procured by the federal government for distribution in the 36 states and the FCT have already arrived. And I'm sure that this particular program is going to be a game changer. It means that Nigerians don't have to rely on petrol. They don't have to go and buy petrol in the fuel stations at the cost or the prices at which they are buying them now. CNG will cost less than half of what it takes to buy a liter of petrol, a liter of CNG. So if these buses arrive and all the conversion centers start working, it means that transportation cost will come down exponentially. And one of the major causes of the rise in food prices in Nigeria today is the cost of transportation. So hopefully in the next month or two, we are going to see the outcome as far as this is concerned. There are a lot of other major initiatives in the area of healthcare. I don't want to bother you with all the details. In the area of infrastructure, we know that the federal government's drive for development is going on through the construction of the 700-kilometer Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, passing through 8 states, while the 1,000-kilometer Sokoto-Badagry Superway, passing through 7 states, and 477-kilometer Calabar-Abuja Superway, which is also passing through 6 states, have been unveiled. The Port Harcourt-Maiduguri rail line is also undergoing reconstruction, among other projects. President Tinubu has also approved a sum of 280 billion for the completion of the Bodo-Boni Road in Rivers State. Currently, the administration of President Tinubu is undertaking emergency repair of 330 roads and bridges across 6 geopolitical zones. Also important to mention, of course, is the Renewed Hope Agenda housing program that is going on across the country. In all the states of the Federation, construction of homes, affordable housing for Nigerians is going on. Here in Abuja, it's taking place all over Nigeria. And then recently, the Minister of Finance reeled out certain very important indices that have shown that the Nigerian economy is indeed taking a turn for the better. We are beginning to see light at the end of the tunnel. We are approaching the end of the tunnel, and light is beginning to show. And some of these economic indices include the fact that our external reserve has hit a 7-month high of 3.7 billion in July. Nigeria has recorded a record-breaking trade surplus of 6.52 trillion in the first quarter of 2024. Now compare this with a deficit of 1.41 trillion recorded in the fourth quarter of 2023. So from a deficit of 1.4 trillion, we have now reached a positive increase of 6.52 trillion naira. First quarter economic growth in 2024 was the second fastest first quarter growth in the last 6 years. Another one is for the first half of 2024, non-oil revenue came to 30% more than the target in 2024. The 2024 budget target without any increase in taxes. Nigeria's external debt has fallen in dollar terms from 108 billion to 91 billion in the last year. Just 2 minutes, I'll be done. I'm almost through. The federal government has also ended the ways and means financing while still meeting all its obligations. The federal government has also fully paid back 7.3 trillion obligations inherited. One of the things Nigerians have been agitating about is the fact that our debt kept rising at a point. Now that is beginning to drop. What we are saying is that we used to owe as much as 108 billion. Now it has fallen to $91 billion. The federal government, our debt service to revenue ratio has also fallen from 97% in the first quarter of 2023 to 68% in 2024. The 2024 budget deficit is moving in the right direction, currently at 4.4% of GDP, with a target of 4.1%, down from 6.1% deficit recorded in 2023. Within the last year, the federal government has injected up to 1 trillion naira worth of incentives into the manufacturing sector to boost local production for national sufficiency and exports. And finally, Renewed Hope Infrastructure Development Fund, National Single Window Project, National Consumer Credit Initiative, and implementation of presidential oil and gas directives will generate billions of dollars in new investment and economic benefits. To summarize everything that the minister is saying, these are programs, innovative program initiatives that President Tinubu has taken that Nigerians will soon see the significant outcome of. And by the time we see this, of course we admit that Nigerians are going through a very, very tough time. Everybody knows that. But what we are saying is the president is doing his best. God willing, by the time these programs reach maturity in the next few months, we shall see a sea change in the fortunes of the Nigerian people. So we are appealing to Nigerians to be more patient and more understanding. The president is doing a lot to change the fortunes of Nigerians and the fortunes of Nigeria as a country. And I can assure you that by the time a combination of all the outcomes of these initiatives start showing, Nigeria will be a much better place for Nigerians. So please, we appeal to Nigerians on behalf of the Honourable Minister to continue to be a bit more patient. The end of this crisis is very much around the corner. You will have to understand that it's like what we are going through is like the process of childbearing. And I'm sure that our ladies here will relate more with that. You know what it means? The pains, the trauma, the tribulations that you go through the process of childbearing. And you know that it's a temporary problem that will come to an end. And as soon as that ends, you know the overwhelming joy that comes after that. And I want to assure you that this combination of great programs the president is undertaking this analogy I'm drawing, you will see the result very soon. And we shall all gather for a big naming ceremony of Nigeria. Thank you very much.